fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
Hey babe, how's work? What do you mean?
You want to tell me where you were last night? Where were you?
Nowhere.
Because when you dropped me off, this was at 158,981 miles. And now look at it.
You're freaking
My house is
crazy.
only 4 miles away.
Okay,
So where did you go last night? Tell me.
You might be dealing with a cluster B. This is what it looks like when they're dealing with attachment issues. Book a session, men, if you're dealing with women like this.
It's a hard thing to admit, but it's understandable why they would choose to go their own way. And that's what's scary, is there's actually a rational reason why they would do that.
Men going their own way. And you can think what you want about it, but this is a really big problem for women, for us, for our future, for families, for you to find a partner. If a population of good men are walking away because they're fed up with women.
If you're being told all your life that you are bad and wrong just for being a man, and that you have toxic masculinity for being a man, and that, you know, women, there's this famous expression that, you know, a woman needs a man just like a fish needs a bicycle. And that men are basically useless. And that men are terrible, and that, you know, women are superior.
Our society is very callous towards men. The only message most men hear in the world is that they're a bumbling buffoon. The TV shows are full of idiot men. Commercials show men as buffoons. The society is against them. All they hear about is what idiots men are.
It's the mass of women that are taking over the culture and representing women. They're loud. They're mean. They say they want equality. Why are they not protesting in the streets for the changing the laws for alimony or child support or child custody? Because they don't want equality. They want superiority.
The male gender has more of a slave state, and it's because men are now subjugated to the law and to women, and nobody really believes it except the men who go through, say, the court. But most men think that they're exempt from that until they end up in a bad situation.
So for a lot of the men, and a lot of them have gotten screwed over in terrible relationships and divorces, and gotten their kids taken away from them. So it's an understandable response.
In the United States of America, as a man, you can't speak up. I think most women tend to be I'm stereotyping, but they tend to be more collectivist. They tend to sort of be more in that socialist mindset. So I don't know that you're going to see a huge change. I think the change will have to come from men.
The lives of women will not change until the men get the opportunity to also examine and define and change their lives. In many ways, I sometimes think that the 20th century was the century where the women made all these massive changes, and the 21st century will be the changes that the men will make, partly in adapting to the changes that the women have done.
And those men are doing something about it. They're saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not getting married, or I'm divorced. They don't sit around just trying to live their life through women. They actually have lots of hobbies. They go out, they buy that land you were talking about. They're out there getting motorcycles. They're having a good time, and they're enjoying life without having to deal with the stress of the women and the society that tells them they have to have a woman in their life.
How would you feel? I mean, you know, you're not going to feel that attracted to a woman or care to be loving towards her or romantic towards her. So this men going their own way is a reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
I got an itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand, I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light, know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave, girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas, no, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds, now it's top floor. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress, when I make it stretch. Double back to back then, down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin, down with me to the end. That my best friend, that my best friend, that my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. There for my first cake, then we hit 100K. $500,000 on the way, then $1 million on the way. Eating good, full plates, eating good, say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday, I can't waste no way, I can't waste no play. My girl, whoa, whoa, something like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she did up. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress, when I make it stretch. Double back to back then, down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin, down with me to the end. That my best friend, that my best friend, that my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress, when I make it stretch. Double back to back then, down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin, down with me to the end. That my best friend, that my best friend, that my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. All these big gets on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress, spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. That my best friend, that my best friend, that my best friend.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night, yeah. I go hard day and night. 1 to 1, no support. When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night, yeah. I go hard day and night. 1 to 1, no surprise. See the hate in their eyes. My brother's blood money bleed. I got the game in the squeeze. What would you do for some green? What would you do for some blues? Go pick and choose, the fam of the cheese. Some people not built like that. Some people get killed like that. Pressure like water, lights, mortgage. I've been at bills like that. Now I got kids like that. No wonder why I feel like that. Some people go to war for nothing. Me, I go to war for something.
Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was.
When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, then I strike. I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. What would you do for a win? What would you do for your friends? What if this life is a foe? What if the dogs pretend? What if you rode to the end? What if you started again?
Fire! The kosher clinician. All right, guys, we're going to get into it on tonight. This is going to be another classic on tonight, and I got Dick and Salty Balls in the house, a good friend of mine, a colleague, and we're going to kill the game, guys. We're going to kill the games. Go check out Machismo TV, guys, where male-centered content is not only needed, but it's essential to the eradication of the minimization of masculinity, a time where traditional heteronormative masculine men appeared to be under attack. Go check out Salty Balls, guys.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, guys, it could be argued, and I said argue, as I'm not giving a diagnosis about Moriah Miles. But it could be argued that Moriah Miles might have borderline personality disorder. And I say that, guys, because she's doing some weird and peculiar things. Have you ever dated a borderline, and how did it impact your mind and your mindset? Get the pen and paper ready, guys, and don't let the modern woman laugh at you while you're going to the bank. Let's do it. All right, guys, appears to be a technical issue, so we'll just go ahead and start. But it's gonna be a good show, guys. I got my man Salty Balls in the house. I don't know what's going on, man. but Dick and Salty Balls, how you doing, dog?
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Moriah Miles, the Moriah Miles situation. What's your take on that? And we're not here to make a diagnosis, but could it be argued that this woman might have some form of mental illness? What's your take?
I think, at the very least, she does have some form of personality disorder, or, I would say the traits and the behaviors are associated with one that actually does. But, one isn't quite sure because, we obviously aren't her clinicians, but, some of the behaviors such as intention seeking, grandiosity, association with high profile people, hypersexuality, impulse, toxicity, all of these things are associated with things that one could consider one of those forms of personality disorders. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you perfect, Matt.
Oh, excellent.
I can hear you perfect. We're going to get into it. I'm going to show you guys some evidence, but some of you men that are listening have dealt with women that have personality disorder. And we're not saying, once again, that this woman has it. But there's an old saying, guys, that the eyes is the key to the soul. If you look at Moriah Miles' eyes, her eyes are telling. Some call it the 1,000 phallus stare. and a lot of modern women got that 1,000 phallus stare, because they've been with a lot of men. And borderline salty balls many times use sex as a way to make them feel whole and complete. Have you ever treated borderlines in your professional work?
Yes, I have. It's not my preference, but I have. Sex can be used to, feel complete in the sense that many people who experience borderline personality disorder do not necessarily feel like there's any sort of personal identity. But not only do they use it as a means to feel as though they're whole, they also use it for leverage, such as guilt,
right,
shame, or other means of, pushing some sort of power dynamics. And so when they're using sex as, this tool, believe in me, it could be used as a weapon. And I think a lot of brothers out here don't really know how many people are experiencing this level of symptomology or whatnot, and they get themselves in this trouble, like, she's crazy, she's impulse, or she was an excellent, PHUCK, but it comes at the expense of, it can come at the expense of you legally, your reputation, even finances or whatnot. And unfortunately for those with these sorts of personality disorders, it can be treated, but not necessarily cured.
Yeah. And once again, I'm not accusing her, but I'm going to go down the rabbit hole in a minute. Some of the behaviors associated with this young lady is troubling, to say the least. But cluster Bs is part of the personality disorder spectrum. Cluster A, cluster B, and most borderlines appear to be cluster Bs. Guys, do me a favor, share this stream because this stream is going to be very important. Some of you men are dealing with women that are borderlines, and we're not here to make light of borderline personality disorder, but we're here to give you a picture or a framework or a contextual framework of what Zion Williamson could be going through. So guys, get your pens and paper ready, share this stream, donate to the channel. And guys, we're about to go down the rabbit hole because I got some information for you guys. Because dealing with borderlines is serious. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys some of the symptoms of a borderline. And when you look at Zion Williamson, his situation, there's a concept called splitting. If you look at the thumbnail I got, borders can't see gray. They can only see black and white. And this thing is getting weirder and weirder. I've dealt with a borderline where she accused a man of impregnating her. And many times they do a lot of self-sabotaging behavior because it's the fear of rejection. And I'm going to show you guys, as we get deep into the story, you guys will be going to begin to see why she might have borderline personality disorders. A woman that has borderline personality disorder many times have been through trauma in the past, traumatic events in the form of some form of sexuality many times. And sometimes these people use sex as a way to make, or sex as a way to help them or make them feel whole. But many borders feel empty. They feel empty. And in their mind, they only see black and white. They don't see gray. And many times they'll do anything to sabotage you and make you look bad because they fear rejection. So the question is it truly mental illness? Is it because she wants the bag? Or is it a combination of both? And before we get into it, we're going to look at some of the symptoms of borderline. And guys, donate to the channel, share the stream, please. And I'm going to show you guys some of the symptoms because some of you men have been dealing with borders. And the thing with a borderline, man, the intimacy is intense from what I've heard. The intimacy is very intense because they feel deeply. And so that heightens, the SEX. And that's why it's hard to get away from them. They gaslight a lot. They will gaslight you. And borderline personality disorder tends to be more prevalent in women than men. More men tend to be narcissistic personality disorder. But I'm going to show you guys something, and it's going to make sense. Share the stream, guys. And go check out Machismo TV. And we're going to show you guys what borderline personality disorder looks like, because it's possible that this woman might be dealing with symptoms of BPD. So borderlines is a mental health condition in which a person has long-term patterns of unstable or explosive emotions. The inner experience often results in impulsive actions, self-image issues, and chaotic relationships. Does that look like Zion Williamson and Moriah Miles, in your opinion, Deacon Salty Balls?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Right, right. You see where we're going there, right?
Yeah, people kind of write it off as, oh, it's just toxic. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is, just their dynamic or whatnot. And I think a lot of people associate the sort of celebrity toxicity as, oh, that's just, what it is these days. This is just part of the culture. No, there's some really, really, really sick people out there. Okay. And, borderlines will situate themselves around people who they deem as important as well.
Right. Guys, okay, got you. Great. All right. Shout out to my man, The Quiet Storm, always showing love for tonight's therapy session. Salute, Brother Kosher. Moriah Miles is full-blown loco. And yes, she is. And that's a deal, right? Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
And so, we don't want to make light of mental illness, guys. We don't want to make light of it. And I feel sorry for the young lady to some degree. But the question is, it appears that she could be having some of the symptoms of borderline personality. So look at it. If you guys haven't been looking at the news, Moriah Miles put Zion Williamson's name on her face. She's been trying to shame him. She said he couldn't get his phallus up. And here are some of the symptoms of borderline personality disorder. Fear of abandonment. People with borderline personality are often terrified of being alone or left alone. Do you see that correlation, Deacon, with Moriah Miles based on what's going on in the media? We're going to show you guys in a minute. Do you see that?
That will be something that some people may deem as rejection sensitivity. Even, if you were dating somebody who, experienced this particular disorder, I know that we're not necessarily getting into the depth of it as much, but if you're like, hey, I'm going on a vacation for a couple of days, that may be chaotic. They may perceive that as a rejection. and they're afraid of departure.
Right.
Almost to the point to where they would hold themselves hostage on account of you. They may say things like, if I were to delete myself, that's on you.
Right. And they're very explosive, unstable relationships. It appears that she imagined in her mind that she had a greater place in Zion Williamson's life, but it appears that it was not as great as she thought it was. Unclear and shifting self-image. Do you see that? Unclear and shifting self-image. This woman went from being a porn star to tattooing Zion Williamson's name on her face. Do you see that?
Yes, indeed. And just even so the impulsivity to, kind of add to it. That, this person didn't really think this out or think of the ramifications of a decision like that, whether it is a porn star or even, tattooing somebody's face on their name or whatnot.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
Just have a little talky talk. I'm in California.
Right. Impulsive or self-destructive behaviors. This woman is saying that she's going to leak sex tapes of her and Zion Williamson if they don't get rid of him and transfer him from the Pelicans. That's bizarre behavior, in my opinion. That's very bizarre behavior, because what does that have to do with the situation with him and her? They're not mutually exclusive. What's your take on that?
It's one of the ways of the push and pull dynamic.
Push and pull, right?
Which is, I'm going to corral you back in, and I'm going to use, tools such as guilt, shame, or, something that, could be considered embarrassing to you, your family, your reputation, your professional colleagues. And, once you are back in, then there's this love bombing dynamic where I did this tattoo for you and I love you so much, you just don't understand. And it feels as though you're on some sort of emotional kind of roller coaster, only for them to, rapidly go to the opposite end of the spectrum where, there's anger, contempt, jealousy.
Right. Jealousy, right.
And even jealousy, not just with perceived romantic rivals, but also with you.
And right. Chronic feelings of emptiness, but one of the ones that I see now is explosive anger. You're beginning to see manifest explosive anger with this young lady. Is it safe to say she's highly angry at Zion Williamson? Is that safe to say?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I mean, it's almost like a heat-seeking missile. There's a level of obsessive thoughts about the person who they deem as their target or whatnot of ire. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if this person will go on and on and on for weeks at a time, trying to assassinate this individual's character. It is characteristic of people who would be typically deemed with this particular diagnosis here.
Right, and her being a porn star, one of disorder eating, but also sex. Could it be safe to say that perhaps she became a porn star to help her not feel empty? Because many times women that are BPD have been violated in some way by somebody in their family. So it could be argued, Deacon, that she was touched or violated, and in order to fulfill that heightened sense of feeling love due to the emptiness that she feels, she's using sex to fulfill that emptiness. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, there's a saying, don't look for love in the wrong places or whatnot. And, some people, as you would hear a lot, quote unquote, have daddy issues or whatnot. And they kind of mix the roles where, you know, they typically look for an idealized version of who they deem as a man within their proximity. Okay. And when things doesn't measure up, where, you know, that particular individual is like, I am a individual, I'm a human being, I'm not this sort of Superman, this idealized version of who you deem me to be, the person that saved you from all of the trauma that you may have experienced, your emptiness, and, you know, your challenges with personal identity, then there is the sort of feelings of rejection, which would prompt the ire, the anger, and so forth, so forth. They may even use statements like, you're just like everybody else, you know, things of the sort.
Right. So we can't say 100%, but it appears that Moriah Miles, guys, might have borderline personality disorder. We're going to get deep into it, guys. We're going to get deep into it. And guys, donate to the channel and share this stream, because some of you men have dated women that were BPD. Go share the stream, donate to the channel. And The Quiet Storm, thus far, brother, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream. Thank you, The Quiet Storm. All right, guys, we're about to go down the rabbit hole in a minute. We're going down the rabbit hole in 1 minute. But donate to the channel, guys. I don't know what's going on with this crazy algorithm. But share this stream, because some men need to hear this. But Moriah Miles, guys, is getting very bizarre in her behavior. And guys, it's this part of the show where we are going down the rabbit hole. Down the rabbit hole we go. This is the part of the show where we assess, examine, collaborate. All right, we're about to go down the rabbit hole, guys. I'm going to show you guys something. Some of a peculiar nature. And you guys tell me what y'all think, because it appears that Moriah Miles could be struggling with borderline. She took Zion Williamson's name and posted it on her mouth. She became incensed when she found out he was dealing with another woman. Look at this. And you guys tell me what y'all think. Unstable personality, threatened the NBA to get rid of Zion Williamson. And also trying to shame him. And also it appears she's dealing with feelings of rejection. A lot of women you're dealing with is struggling with unresolved mental illness. And it appears that this young lady is doing the same thing. Guys, get the likes up, share this stream. Content creation takes a lot of time. I'm a licensed therapist. And if you like what I'm doing, guys, donate to the channel, please. Donate to the channel. Get the likes up, because it takes a lot of work to do these kind of shows. All right, guys.
Hi, handsome.
Listen to what she's saying.
Hello, beautiful. Hi. Why are you so handsome?
Why are you so beautiful?
I'm not. Oh my God, stop.
I almost hung up. You stop saying that. You're beautiful.
And you guys see her showering Zion Williamson with praise in this picture. You guys seen her showering Zion Williamson with praise. But that's what boilers do. It goes right back to what me and Deacon said. They do a lot of love bombing. Deacon, is it fair to say this is a condition of love bombing? Does this look like love bombing to you, in your opinion?
It is, compliments onto physical affection and affirmation of love, onto, this sort of idealized version of you as a person. And anything that's, subpar from that, guilt is used as leverage. Shame is used as leverage and whatnot. So this is a very prominent feature of BPD.
Yeah, love bombing. And it looks like in this particular episode, she's actually love bombing Zion Williamson. Shout out to my man, Deacon Salty. Deacon Salty, he is the #1 sponsor of this stream. The deacon said this. The deacon said this. He said, "Thy madness is born as she is the daughter of 1,000 fathers, in that she has inherited thine sickness of disorder and chaos from the mother." Shout out to my man Deacon Salty Balls, as you are the #1 sponsor of this stream, brother. I appreciate it.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
Hey, I could do 2 things at once.
Appreciate it, man. All right, we're going to show you guys something else with this young lady that's troubling. And we're not here to say that she has borderline personality disorder, but it's possible. And I'm going to show you guys some more of the evidence in a minute.
My dear sisters, it is never ever this serious. It's never this serious. It wasn't that good, couldn't have been. So Moriah Mills stepped on the scene telling us that Zion Williamson cheated on her.
It's buff. Let me ask you a question, Deacon. Have you heard of women like her? Or have you heard of borders saying that they are pregnant?
She tweeted for 3 weeks.
I have.
Talk about that.
Whether it's, anything during the sort of realm of X is considered not off limits, okay? It could be accusations of prego, accusations of rape, even accusation of, being, abused in somehow or another. What's dangerous about them is even a sort of, casual encounter can lend somebody back into that sort of retroactive accusation kind of camp if they're not careful. See, this goes back to us and our brethren here and practicing phallic discipline so that you'll be able to be more vigilant when it comes to people like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people is like, oh, this is the first night and, oh, this is good. Let me just go on ahead and get this and do that or whatever the case may be. Not realizing that they are seriously playing with fire. Right.
And it goes back to what you were saying. Zion Williamson let his rooster get in the way of his logic and common sense. And remember, people that have borderline BPT, many times the sex is very intense. And it's possible to understand why perhaps Zion Williamson let his ego get in the way.
I got a big ego, ha ha ha, oh, such a big ego.
Yeah, they let the ego get in the way, man. And when you're dealing with women that are volatile like this woman, it can be highly problematic, to say the least.
Very much so.
Weeks straight, all the receipts, all of their messages, details that I never needed to know about their sex. Then she goes and gets this man's name tatted on her face and posts a thirst trap, booty bouncing video of her getting the tattoo like it was supposed to be hot and sexy. And now she's posting a pregnancy test, talk about she's having Zion's baby with emotional music in the background. And then she gonna post a poll talking about should I name the baby Junior or Zariah? Free yourself from the delusion. Free my good sis from the delusion. Zion is not your man. And my thing is, you're an adult film star. Your face is a part of your moneymaker, Moriah, and you just gonna brand it with Zion's name like you're some damn Pelicans merch? No. There's Delulu, there's the Lululemon, and then there's the Louis Vuitton. And baby, you are the house of the Louis Vuitton. Free her.
You mind if I just quickly?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So
Hey.
Go ahead.
So X is the ultimate form of attention.
Right.
And attention is the currency of anybody who's experiencing BPD. Okay? And so this is why there's a hyperfixation on, that sort of X. You know what I mean? It's the ultimate form of adoration of a person. It's the ultimate form of quote unquote self-sacrifice and vulnerability or whatnot. This is why there's some sort of attention to that so much, very much that. Okay. And it's almost like from a neurochemical aspect, there's a sort of rise they get out of it. There's a level of pleasantry that they get out of it. So I just at least wanted to point that out.
Right. Fair point. Yeah, it looked like she could be definitely BPD because her behavior is very bizarre. It's erratic to say the least. Hold on for a minute. This thing is buffering, man.
This Zion Williamson drama is insane. So Zion.
Tap my name on you, girl, so I know it's real.
Have you seen people, Deacon, they've used tattoos that were BPD in your treatment of such?
I have this.
Go ahead.
There's a high frequency of that, things that, they see as quote unquote permanent, to express their love, whether it is, something as, minuscule as, tattoos on up to self-deletion. One must go ahead and actually not ignore the fact that self-mutilation or self-sabotage, whether it's their own reputation or, whether it's figuratively or physically to demonstrate their professed love at their sort of target of attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you look in this woman's eyes, her eyes look empty. And she looks like she got that 1,000-foul stare, but we'll talk about that in a minute too. Hold tight.
This Zion Williamson drama is insane. So Zion Williamson announced with the mother of his child in a very wholesome video that he is expecting to have a daughter. And this was all nice and cute and all until an adult film star by the name of Moriah Mills sent out multiple tweets calling out Williamson. The first tweet saying, "You sound stupid. This was literally my man and I never once looked for clout from anyone. I was loyal to you and you got a thought preggers." It gets even crazier. "I know what comes with being a basketball player, girl. I know there will be other women, but didn't expect you to get these hoes pregnant."
When you look in her eyes, man, what do you see, Abdi?
I see an abyss.
You see what?
An abyss.
Explain.
Emptiness.
Right, emptiness.
Darkness.
Right. She looks very dark. Some of the boilers that you've treated, have you seen that look?
Very much so. It's very, very. They can come off very, very cold and calculated at times, but they can also come off, believe it or not, as very charming, and they have in very, very sociable or whatnot. They'll be the center of attention, and like I said, it's one big roller coaster ride. You go to the store with them, it might be something like, everybody's seeing me, everybody's fixated on me, or, oh, did you see that lady at the cash register? She was staring at you. So, I should just give her a piece of my mind and, act out in a sort of violent sort of way. So, very much so. These are some of the things that will be typical of somebody experiencing this sort of symptomology here.
Yeah, it looked like she was experiencing fear and rejection. What's your take on that? The fear and abandonment appears to be her greatest culprit. That's what I see from her. And then also, most boilers would do self-sabotaging, meaning they want to get you before you get them. And the fact that Zion was dealing with another woman while she was dealing with her, she internalized that as rejection. What's your take on that?
I want to say I agree with that. I agree with that wholly. And of course, going through extreme measures to avoid this rejection. Here's a question. I like to kind of put out to the chat. Have you ever dealt with a lady who was really, really toxic, really, really really a lot of trouble? It's always chaos going on in their life, issues with their family. They can't hold down a job. The only thing they was good at is, you already know what they were good at.
Right.
Okay. And then, from this sort of joyride, you said to yourself, hey, let me go ahead and separate myself from that. Let me, and of course, they threaten to, delete themselves, and you just totally leave them alone. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They call you from blocked numbers. They create these Facebook profiles. They add you. Like very, very, very stalkerish behavior. They may even disappear for a couple months, maybe even a year or two. And then they come back in your life and act as if nothing
happened. Right.
And will totally deny that any of the stuff ever happened. And you sit there and you wonder whether or not your recall of the events and reality was indeed true. This is a typical feature of an experience with that joyride.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And she could have planned it because they can be very manipulative. Now, some say the boilers don't know when they're manipulated. That's up for debate because of the splitting. Do you think boilers know when they're manipulated?
I think so, because a good number of times that's who actually do it. That's the thing about people who experience the disorder is that, do not underestimate their ability to do just that. Mm-hmm. Control your behavior with guilt, shame, so very much so.
Right. Hold tight.
That was my 3 red flags because TikTok is trying it. Doesn't vote. I voted when passive aggressive works too much. But I'm retired. That was my 3.
This Zion Williamson drama is insane. So Zion Williamson announced with the mother of his child in a very wholesome video that he is expecting to have.
So some of the guys
daughter. And this was all nice and cute and all until an adult film star by the name of Moriah Mills sent out multiple tweets calling out Williamson. The first tweet saying, "You sound stupid. This was literally my man and I never once looked for clout from anyone. I was loyal to you and you got a thought preggers." It gets even crazier. "I know what comes with being a basketball player, girl. I know there will be other women, but didn't expect you to get these hoes pregnant." Ad guy on Williamson. This is my favorite tweet of all. "I motivated you to get back in shape. I let you, me all times a ways." Ultimately, guys, I think this is all cap. I think this is just an adult film star trying to get more clout for her website. It's probably the most popular form of advertisement for these women. But let me know in the comment section if you believe this, because...
Do you see the body dysmorphia with this woman? Dickin?
Very much so. Almost like an addiction. It's all about attention, as I stated before, and whether it's enhancing the hips, the breast, or on to, changing the sort of facial structure to look almost as if a lion would very much indicate the extreme measures one would not only go through for attention, but even some aspects, one would argue, of self-mutilation.
Yeah. She's struggling, and you would think these young guys won't get caught up dealing with these trashy women, man. You would think they would have enough sense not to deal with them, or if they dealt with them on a limited basis. But this young buck was giving this woman $100,000 a month, and a lot of boarders love to spend money also to deal with emptiness. Have you experienced that? Like they go on excessive on spending sprees. Have you experienced that with boilers from your experience?
From shopping sprees, on to gambling, on to shoddy investments.
Gotta give Zion some respect, bro.
It's like their mechanism for controlling oneself. They have a challenge with that. This is their sort of rise. They want to live the high life at the top. Very hedonistic lifestyles, and in some ways nihilistic as well, right? It's kind of a weird dichotomy that they have. Hedonism with self-pleasure and attention or whatnot, and obviously nihilism where nothing matters. Remember, nothing is sort of gray area in between them. It's either one way or nothing, or another way, all or nothing kind of mentality. So very much so. This is why, you would even hear about, borderlines, speeding, anything associated with impulse.
Right.
Live in the now, make it rain. You only live once, hot girl summer. All this stuff sound familiar to y'all?
Right. And once again, we talked about her proclivities for having sex, and could it be she became a porn star to help her deal with her emptiness? I believe so. If you look in her eyes, once again, as we said earlier, she got that 1,000-seat stare. Hold tight.
Everyone's clowning this man because the crazy Moriah Mills tape blackmail, tweets, all that. Shorty got his name tattooed on her face. I just know his strong ass was tearing her shit out the frame, putting her ass through the mattress. I just know damn well he had her shit looking like his Nike in the North Carolina game. Absolutely mangled. Had Shorty so dickmatized, even Elon Musk is...
Bro, this shit right here, this shit...
Gotta get Zion some...
Bro, this shit right here...
Hold tight. So, how did you deal with the customers or the clients that you had that were borderline? How did you deal with them, Salted?
Well, as I stated before, the biggest currency with people with BPD is attention and a reaction. Okay, well, you want to respond, not react. Respond if you feel that you have to. But there's some method that they call, which is gray rock method. Okay. And that's just, being non responsive whatsoever. So they may say things that are totally out of line, like, as you heard her say, he couldn't get it up. They may even go through extremes and say that, you're LGBTQIA.
Go ahead,
Try to
I'm
get
sorry.
a rise out of you by saying, "Oh, I asked your brother."
Bro.
Go ahead.
I asked your brother, or and those are responses. I mean, those are things which they're trying to use to prompt some sort of emotional response, like, "Oh, I told your boss this. You're gonna get fired or whatever." All those different things is to try to get some sort of emotional response. The thing is, the best way to beat a game is not to play it.
Right. Let's look at what this young man is saying.
This shit right here, this shit is fucking weird. And I'm not even talking about Zion Williamson. I will get into you later, sir. But let this be let the roles be reversed here. Let another grown ass fucking man be doing this to not a little girl. Zion Williamson isn't a little ass boy, but a young adult. He's like 22, 23 years old. Let another grown ass man do that to a 23, 22-year-old girl, and let's see how the world reacts then. Like the first couple of things, the whole exposing Zion shit, sure, that was funny as hell. We all laughed at that shit. But now this shit is starting to get weird, like creep weird. This is a grown ass woman acting this way, mind you. Now you, Sir Zion, this shit right here, what the fuck were you thinking? Now, if this shit is real, because Lord knows she could be faking this shit. But if you really got this motherfucker
So, when you look at this, the thing I find baffling about this is that I know you got to go deep, but what I find baffling, you got a 30-some-year-old woman dealing with a 22-year-old man. Where's the outrage?
Well, I mean, nobody's going to say that, this person broomed him. Nobody's going to say that, he was manipulated, or that, that she was a Redditor or any of that other stuff. Okay. Only thing they're going to simply say is, yes, get the bag and this, that, and the other, not realizing that this is somebody who truly has a level of sickness or whatnot, who devour their victims and move on to the next person and ruin their lives,
right,
or whatnot. So the lesson here, at least, for the most part, have some discipline. Vet people. I know that women typically do it, but men, we should be a little better about that, because as my grandfather, who was a World War II vet, Tuskegee Airman in particular, used to say, the best way to essentially, time is the great revealer and the great healer. Okay, use time on your side. That's how you vet. That's the best way you vet people or whatnot. You in due time, questions will be answered. It will actually show you them in their true form. And with people with this sort of disorder, they cannot necessarily hide it for too long. And so, of course, you might not necessarily be used to the wild SEGS or any other stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. These people will be probably the most likely to have a foursome or even a fivesome.
Mm-hmm.
All chicks. Right. But, you really have to consider, the cost with that. Believe in me, there will be an emotional cost, at the very least, personal, reputation or whatnot, and at worst, legal and professional. So you all be careful out there. All right.
No doubt.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I just wanted to bring you up for a few minutes, man. Give the crowd some insight. I know a lot of times stuff like this, our people don't really care about, but some men that are listening have dealt with BPDs, and we want to add clinical science with urban trends that more or less paint a picture. But anyway, thank you, Deacon. I'll see you around, brother. We'll be making it happen, brother. Be good.
Oh, thank you. And if you all want to see your favorite content creators, such as, you know, the Culture Clinician here or whatnot, go on ahead, check out Machismo TV. Obviously the Culture, he'll be highlighted. We'll be having some best ofs pretty soon. So go on ahead, check it out. And thank you once again, Culture.
No doubt, brother. Thank you for your love, man.
All right.
Be good, brother. All right. So guys, so the question once again is Moriah Miles. Shout out to Top Gun. Is Moriah Miles BPD? And I'm not saying she is, but based on the evidence that I showed you guys, she could be. A lot of the women that you are dealing with have borderline personality disorder, and sometimes the intensity of the SEX is so strong, it can confuse a lot of men and make them stay longer because borderless tend to feel very deeply. Hold tight.
Bro.
Gotta get Zion.
Bro, this shit right here.
Yeah, I don't know why this thing is buffering, man. This mess is irritating. But if you look at this woman, guys, y'all can see that she has some underlying issues. She has some underlying issues, guys. If you look at this woman's eyes, she definitely got some underlying issues.
I mean, I could see if it was a real nigga. If you lost your hoe to T.I., I'd be like, hey, that's T.I. But Usher, I mean, I could see if it was.
Tap my name on you, girl, so
And so how many of you men have dealt with women that could have been borderline? If you have dealt with them, hit 1 in the link. And how had those behaviors impacted you men in a negative way? Because this woman having this man inked on your face, you interrogating a 22-year-old man. Where's the outrage? A 30-year-old woman terrorizing, harassing a young man. Once again, would we tolerate it if it was an older man doing the same thing to a woman? I don't think so. To the point, this woman now saying she's pregnant with Zion Williamson baby. And she might be not only narcissistic, but she could be borderline because it appears she's struggling with the rejection of Zion Williamson moving on with his life. Look at her eyes. Look into the eyes of this young lady. And it's obvious there's some issues going on if you just look at her face and look at her eyes, guys. And that's why, guys, penis discipline is so important. Penis discipline is extremely important when you're dealing with a woman. But I want to show you guys something because this is a rabbit hole moment. And this young lady has a lot of underlying issues. Hold tight. I want to show you guys something. And this is where it gets crazier and crazier. She began to shame Zion Williamson, and she said this on June the 20th, and we're going to read it from the Capital Journal. We'll read it if it comes up. I don't know why this computer, I don't know what it's doing, man. All right, so it's buffering, but don't worry about that. What we'll do, we won't worry about the buffering. I'll just go to the next thing. I don't know why this thing keeps buffering. I'm going to have to call and check with Google. But let's look at the video. And guys, that's why it's so important for you guys to use discipline where you're dealing with women like her. Was it mental illness? Or was it the bag? Or was it both? Stephen A. Williams is going to give his input.
Hey, babe. How's work? What do you mean?
You want to tell me where you were last night? Where were you?
Nowhere.
Because when you dropped me off, this was at 158,981 miles. And now look at it.
You're freaking
My house is
crazy.
only 4 miles away.
Okay,
So where did you go last night? Tell me.
You might be dealing with a
transition before I go to break.
All right, Stephen A. Williams, Stephen A. Smith is going to give his breakdown of this situation. What do you guys think? Because this woman appears to be very deranged. This is not normal. Share the stream, guys. Get the likes up. Donate to the channel. I appreciate it. We got a good show coming on tomorrow. So share the stream, guys.
Break. About this whole Zion Williamson thing. And you know the story, you know. Former adult film star apparently, allegedly had some kind of relationship with him, and she's walking around sounding scorned. Moriah Mills is her name, sounding scorned because he ended up with somebody else and all of this other stuff. None of our business, really. She's made it our business because she's publicized everything. Here's the deal. There are people that have been commenting not about that specific per se, but essentially asking the question as to why players date women of that ilk, as opposed to women out there that are career women, women that, are doing other professional things as opposed to being an adult film star or a stripper. And
I could never understand it. I heard people say that Ratchet is some of the best, and I get it, but why even associate with a woman like Moriah Mills? That's the question. Why associate your money, your livelihood, and everything with a woman like Moriah Mills? It doesn't make any sense to a lot of men. It doesn't make any sense for a man to associate himself with a woman like Moriah Mills, because it doesn't add to the quality of his life. I know he's young and goofy, but it doesn't make any sense.
All of this other stuff, we don't have to get salacious with it, but you know what I'm saying. I was under the impression that I knew the answer to this question. And the answer was that men are visual creatures. We don't give a damn what forum you're in. We covet what we see. And if we like what we see enough, don't abandon me, fellas. Guys turning their head being scared. Don't deserve.
And we understand this is true. Men are visual creatures. The contractor said we like hoes. Yeah. The theory is, based on what I hear a lot of men say, they say Ratchet is the best. Many men love that Ratchet. And sometimes, guys, you can let your ego get you into a lot of trouble, guys. Your rooster can get you in a lot of trouble if you don't have rooster discipline.
I got a big ego, ha ha ha, oh, such a big ego.
Dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy.
Is Zion Williamson a big dummy? Is Zion Williamson a big dummy? And I get it. He's young. He's a young cat, got full of testosterone. And it don't justify the behavior as he should be working on his craft. And we all did some stupid stuff when we were 22. But Zion Williamson, what is it with this woman? And one more argument, if she is BPD, I get it, because sex with BPDs, many say, is intense. And here's the crazy thing with this woman. This woman, guys, got mad at Zion Williamson because she said that he is blanking her raw. But ma'am, you let plenty of men have sex with you raw. So I don't see your logic, Moriah Mills.
Hurt me now. It's the truth. Men are visual creatures. We covet what we see, and unfortunately, on far too many occasions, the thinking part of it all comes in later, not earlier. But then a former NBA star, who, by the way, has his own podcast.
And somebody said, guys, that Shaq is dealing with Brittany Renner. Don't know how true it is. But somebody said that Shaq said that Brittany Renner is dealing with Shaq. Don't know how true it is. But that's the ongoing thing that's going on right now, that he's dealing with Brittany Renner. Don't know how true it is. But I can understand why some men get caught up in the foolishness and get caught up in and dealing with nonsense. I can get it to some degree. I get it to some degree, guys. Don't know how true it is, though.
Podcast, who, by the way, knows a lot about basketball on and off the court, whose name happens to be Gilbert Arenas, who was on a podcast, my man Patrick Beverly's podcast, talking about this subject, took a moment to explain why players actually date, quote unquote, according to them, worst women. Listen to this.
Think about the other sex that's free between noon and damn 7 o'clock. Strippers. Girls, Instagram models ain't got shit to do in life. Right? All the sophisticated women at work. They at work.
Now, me, I don't think that way. I want to state for the record, I've had witnesses in here. I don't think that way. As far as I'm concerned, who am I to judge? There are people out there you wouldn't prefer that they go that route, but some people have their own proclivities and they want to do what they want to do. Others are trying to earn an honest living and an honest paycheck. And damn it, that's what they choose to do because it's profitable. And it's about the dollars and cents. But the ladies in here, Ashley, Sumatra, Sherry, Laura, people like these are people in my inner circle now. They're part of this team. They're part of my staff. They say, not me, not the fellas. None of us are guilty of this. We didn't say that. None of us, never that, none of us. Just
how many of you guys would deal with? How many of you guys would deal with Moriah Miles, man? You know some of you guys in the chat would deal with Moriah Miles, man. Because they said Moriah got that crazy poom-poom, man. How many of you men would deal with Moriah Miles on the low? No lies in therapy, guys. How many of you guys would deal with Moriah Miles? Because it's obvious something is wrong with this young lady. And she meets a lot of criteria of BB. Shout out to the contract. At least he's honest. The contractor said he'll deal with Moriah Miles, man. He said he'll deal with Moriah Miles, man.
the ladies, they said, not me, they said Gilbert Arenas has a point. Because a true professional working woman is busy working. They ain't got time to be an Instagram model. They ain't got time to be involved in adult films. They ain't got time for all of that because they're working. I don't know the answer to this question, so I'll pose it to y'all. Do you agree with Gilbert Arenas? Or don't you? I don't know. But the ladies told me I needed to care to present that question to y'all. So who am I to disappoint? Before I move on from this particular subject, during the commercial break, it was brought to my attention that this lady, Miss Moriah Mills, her Instagram account, This Is Moriah Mills, she just tattooed Zion's name on her face. So I'm not going to talk about this anymore other than to say this one last thing. One or two things are going on here. Either she is starving for attention, and willing to do whatever she can to get it, okay, even if it's at his expense, or she had a pretty damn good time with him.
And, it could be both. It could be both. Maybe Zion blew her back out, man. He's a young buck. And, maybe she, he blew her back out and it messed her up. Or it could be a combination of both.
And can't get over it. Y'all decide. I'm going to leave it at that.
I think she could be dealing with mental illness. No one goes to that extreme. We know sometimes some women can be very erratic, but I think she's dealing with mental illness. I can't prove it, but I think she's dealing with mental illness, guys. This is what it looks like when they're dealing with. I think she's a cluster B.
Hey, babe. How's work? What do you...
You want to tell me where you were last night? Where were you?
Nowhere.
Because when you dropped me off, this was at 158,981 miles. And now look at it. My house is only 4 miles away. Okay, so where did you go last night? Tell me.
You might be dealing with a cluster B. This is what it looks like when they're dealing with attachment issues. Book a session, men, if you're dealing with women like this. And we're going to talk about it, guys. Some of you men have dealt with cluster Bs. And cluster Bs, guys, can wreak havoc on your mental health. They can wreak havoc. Let's first look at some more Moriah Mills.
Moriah Mills has been putting out a series of tweets for, I want to say, the past 2 weeks now about Zion Williamson since she blasted him online. She's also threatening to release their sex tape and demanded that the Pelicans trade Zion, and if they don't, she's going to release the tapes. This is actually crazy, and I cannot believe that she has been going this hard for this long, and the only reason why her tweets stopped is because Twitter had to shut down her account. So maybe now that her account is shut down, maybe this whole situation will be over soon, but who knows?
And guys, it could be a narcissistic injury too, or narcissistic rage. It could be narcissistic injury or rage. But remember, they're both, I believe, in the cluster B. Sometimes she can have both. Because some women struggle with men rejecting them. And it appears that she's struggling with the rejection.
Who knows? But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. So
about Zion Williamson.
So it looks like my dear.
Hey now.
This Zion Williamson drama is insane.
So they said that some of you guys would deal with some of you guys would deal with Moriah Mills, man, according to what some of your brothers think. But this is where it all started, man. This young lady got some serious problems. She got some serious problems. But once again, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Was it the bag that she wanted? Or was it mental illness? James Turner said he knocked the blank out of her boots. And that's on all night long. Oh, man, this is crazy, man. Hold on for a minute. Let me show you guys something. Because mental illness is real, guys. So on Twitter, guys, you guys see where she's threatening, saying she's pregnant. Look at this. She's saying she's pregnant, guys. She's preggo. And boarders can struggle with that. They can struggle with feelings of inadequacy. And her saying that she's preggo could be the cause for a greater conversation. So once again, guys, is it her desire for the bag? Is it the bag? Is it because she blew his back out? Because she tried to mock the brother and say that his phallus was small, shaming language that a lot of women use. But we're gonna look more into it. We're looking at this thing from a clinical perspective and an urban perspective, and we're trying to form an analysis. Guys, get the likes up, donate to the channel. But what do you guys think? Is she crazy? Is it the SEX? Is it the bag, or is it all three? If it's the sex, hit 1. If it's SEX and mental illness, hit 2. Or if it's SEX, mental illness, and money, hit 3. But Zion is young, man, so he probably blew her back out. Because this woman is so bad, guys. She's so bad that they shut her down on TikTok, man. And you got to be careful to you young men, because these women will try to trick you. They will manipulate you and they will trick you. So you guys got to be careful. And she got to have some good poom. As Zion Williamson was giving this woman $100,000 a month. That's some expensive poom. If it's that's some expensive poom, guys. That is some expensive poom. And you look at her eyes, you could tell something's wrong with this young lady. You look at her eyes. That 1,000C stare is real, guys. But I asked a question earlier. How many? Some of you guys think it's all three. How many of you guys think? How many of you guys will mess with Moriah? I believe James Turner would mess with her. I believe James Turner would mess with her, man. I believe James would mess with her. But that 1,000C
I know
stare
y'all
is
been
real,
seeing
guys.
this news, floating around lately, and boy, Zion know how to get himself in some shit. But guess what, Zion? Holla at us at Premium Labs. We take care of you. You ain't got to wait 9 months to find out if this baby yours or not. All you got to do is wait till she's 7 weeks along. And we can do a non-invasive prenatal test. A little blood draw from her and a little swab from your mouth results in 3 to 5 business days. And you can put all this shit to rest. All right? So holla at us at Premium Labs. Oh, we travel too. And we offer Afterpay. So, once again, Premium Labs in Columbia, South Carolina. Holla at us so we can go ahead and do this.
Yeah, look at this ratchet, guys.
Non-invasive prenatal DNA test for you, so she can start with this foolishness. Have a good day, y'all. Y'all got some questions about that non-invasive prenatal test? We'll take care of you. Oh, it is $1,500. Just a FYI, it ain't cheap. But I'd rather him pay $1,500 with her being 7 weeks alone than waiting 9 months.
Well, that
holla at us, Zion.
that ratchet, guys. That ratchet is real, man. She put that ratchet on Zion, man, and and if you look at the eyes, look at the eyes.
I need a minute to think about this. Wow.
You look at the eyes, guys. You know something's going on.
I'm gonna be real, man. It's gonna take a dude like me to help you get out of this situation. Cause the way I see it, the way I see things going right now, man, this is, oof, what a predicament. That's all I can say. Zion.
That young buck look, that young buck look like he got hydrocephalus, man. that dude like he got hydrocephalus, man. He loved the lead off the Incredible Hulk.
Moriah Mills, who's about to go down as
Congrats to Zion Williamson having a baby on the way with
Pussy not mine, this bitch for us.
Wow.
That's the power. Zion, that's the power of the ratchet. And listen, I get it. I get it. Zion is young, man. He's a young buck, man. I get it.
Moriah Mills is shaking, and she's been shaking for about 192 hours. I tried to stay away from this story, but she wouldn't let me stay away from it. So Moriah Mills is a corn star, and this is Zion Williamson. He's a famed NBA player. Well, this young lady right here, Akima, is his baby mother and looks like his girlfriend, and she is about to have his first child. Well, Moriah has been going on a rant online about it for, a few days now. It's getting sad, it's getting embarrassing, but let's talk about it. I would take up the whole 3 minutes if I did every single one of Moriah's tweets, but I think this is one that's going to sum it up. Finding out your man had a baby on you is worse than cheating. My stress levels are on 10, and I don't wish this on anyone, I promise. She always adds him in every single post. At Zion Williamson, wish you would have told me last week, could have avoided all the lies. Now, what's interesting about her rant was some of the stuff she said they did.
And God, this is where all the foolishness start. This is where all the foolishness start. And so she went from talking about his baby mama to leaking a SEX tape, which is consistent with someone that might have narcissistic rage or abandonment issues. And she called his girlfriend a 304, but she's a porn star. Make it make sense. She called her man, she called his girl a porn star, a 304, but she's a porn star. No accountability.
Shut up, Kosher. Shut up. Shut up, Kosher. Take it back. Shut up. Shut up, Kosher. Shut up.
She don't want to hear the truth, man. They don't want to hear the truth. She's a porn star, but she called him a 304, man. Make it make sense, guys. Come on. I think James, brother Deacon James, know about some ratchet. I think Deacon James know about some ratchet, man.
Together in a dirty way. She was saying there was some spitting in the mouth that was going on, all types of different things.
And this woman is disgusting. If you think about what she did with Zion, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting, man. It's highly disgusting, man. Highly disgusting. She let him put saliva in her mouth. I mean, nasty. And I don't understand why these guys deal with these women, man. man. These women are petri dishes, man. I don't understand why these guys are so crazy over these dirty women, man.
He allowed him to do to her body. Now, the interesting about Moriah Mills was when I first saw this young lady, I thought she was a trans woman. I thought she was a TS. Come to find out, she is not Shauna Brooks. She is Moriah Mills. I completely mixed them up. And she is fully a young lady. So for those who were thinking that she was a trans woman, no, she is not. This young lady has spoke about the news that she has sent them just that morning. And she also spoke directly to Akima, saying that you are a stripper. You basically should not have taken a stripper seriously, although she is a corn star and she wants Zion Williams to take her serious. So I think that's discriminatory from sex worker to sex worker. I think that that's kind of rude. Now, what's interesting, too, is every single picture I've seen of Zion Williamson. Mind you, Zion Williamson hasn't said anything. Every single picture I saw of him on his baby mama's page for their baby shower, that...
And guys, you got to watch these ratchet women, man. They're very ratchet. When they don't get what they want, they're trying to shame you. There were women in the past that had relationships with men. They knew how to keep their mouth shut, man. But this is what happens when a ratchet thinks she's better than what she really is. And guys, you got to stay away from women like this.
That man looked so excited. Every single picture, he looked pleased as punch. Moriah, I don't think you're getting this man back. You might as well stop talking about it. Look at this, y'all. He's got on the cutest shirt. I'm here because I don't want to get yelled at. Now tell me that's somebody who cares about what the young lady that's having a baby with them. That's showing he cares how she feels. He ain't trying to get yelled at. That sounds like somebody's husband. The setup was beautiful.
Zion Williams is simping, man. Because you don't want to get yelled at. You're a man, son. You don't let a woman yell at you. You challenge and check that bad behavior, son. Come on, Zion Williams. What did your dad teach you?
Very expensive. It was all kind of lump crab cakes in a cup. Definitely paid for by him. It looks like he's happy to be with this young lady. So this is the baby mama's name on Instagram. And she's really nothing to sneeze at. Although she may be an exotic dancer, she got businesses. In 2021, she was posting buying houses for cash and cleaning them up. Okay, that's somebody's real estate agent. Look at that man's teeth. Moriah, give it up. He ain't going nowhere ever. He looks totally happy with this girl. Moriah Mills is shaking, and she been shaking.
And guys, that's the dangers of dealing with ratchet, man. That's I call it ratchet theory. That's the dangers of dealing with ratchet guys. And now she's trying to expose him with SEX tapes. Now she's trying to expose him with SEX tapes, guys. As you guys can see, this woman is definitely deranged, to say the least. Now, Charleston White did a diatribe about this woman. And the question is, he posed the same question I posed. Is it the bag or is it her desire for money? I think it's her or his desire, her desire for both. I think she's dealing with mental illness and she wants that bag. But guys, tell me what y'all think. Share the stream, guys. These numbers are crazy, man. I don't know what's going on, but I'm about to the point I don't even care. But hold tight, guys.
100K a month. No, but 100K a month.
Well, I would be acting just like her.
Now listen. Zion was giving this woman $100,000 a month. $100,000 a month. That's some serious poom poom. That's some people's 4 people's salary. He was giving her $100,000 a month.
Speaking of those that will do anything for the money, Moriah Mills has been, I want to say, online stalking Zion Williamson.
That's that chick got that. She's pregnant.
No, that's not the pregnant one. The one who
that's the one got the tattoo on her
cheek. When you see how far she's been going to get that NBA player, young 22-year-old, goddamn eggplant type, whatever the f going on over there. What do you say when you see like a woman going that hard for that check, like for that bag?
She doing what her supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah, she doing what hoes supposed to do. Hoes is supposed to go to whatever lengths and levels to get that bag when she a hoe. She operating in her makeup.
Wait, she hashtagging the NBA, the commissioner, saying if y'all don't release him from the Pelicans, I'm putting out sex tapes. They going out.
Man, all of them got tape, man. They don't Donald Sterling still on the Clippers?
Yeah.
They don't give a damn about what that is talking about. No, man, she just doing what hoes do.
They ended up taking her off the internet though. They said we suspending your account. Is that?
Well, she's showing signs of mental health issues. Yeah, at this point.
Now, his sentiment is the same as mine. His sentiment is the same as mine. She's showing symptoms of mental health issues. And I tend to concur with Charleston White guys. I tend to concur with him. It looks like she's dealing with some form of mental illness, to say the least.
Mental health issues. I'll to the side. She's showing signs. Have he fucked with her before?
Yeah. He
Oh, he been on her.
Bro, he was giving her $100K a month. No, but $100K a month.
Well, I would be acting just like her. You got me fucked up, man. Motherfucker fucking on me, ain't giving me $120,000 a month.
Yeah.
I be doing the same guy thing that doing.
Do you think they just took tricking to the next level? Like, they can't compete with it? Like,
boy, you don't know what your granddad and them did long before these young got here. Say, boy, tricking. Say, no, man, them niggas used to f them girls, them grown used to f the girl we was in middle school with. Way worse than these today.
Wait. So you had a situation where, let's say, someone found out you were fucking someone else and they just went hard on you for fucking this other person?
Man, them 1980s, 1990 doughboys, them paid in full. All them niggas had 14, 15, 16-year-old girlfriend that they gave the world to. These tricking these doing today, they more suckers than they is tricks. Yeah, they more suckers.
Explain the difference.
Oh man, it's a big.
Is Zion Williams a sucker or a trick or both, guys? Hit one. Is he a sucker or a trick or both? Hit one, because Zion Williams was giving away all his NBA money and putting on a bunch of weight.
Difference. They ain't developing no businesses with the tricking with the broads. And then they letting the broads come back and shame them after they done tricked on them. Man, any broad who I done tricked on, she goes.
Yeah, I'm about to say Zion has been silent through all this. Should he be saying something? Should he be vocal about this?
Say something if it wasn't.
How many?
It was saying she was my second wife.
Damn.
On the internet, going around for a long time. She was Nick Cannon's publicist at one point in time. And I had and she stole my identity. And scammed me for a whole bunch of shit. Her and Shirley with the strawberry letter husband. But when she was saying all that shit, I ain't say nothing. Now, homie, when them hoes talking, you don't try to defend that shit. You let them hoes talk. Because once you start talking and addressing it, or even trying to defend it, then you get what them hoes say validity. And so now, once you address it, it gives them hoes the light. Because now everybody want to go put a microphone in them hoes' face because what you done said. So now.
So let's say if this young woman is a narcissist. I do agree with him. You're feeding that narcissistic supply. And you don't want to supply or feed a narcissist. It's not conducive to your mental health, and you're basically empowering them.
Long as you don't say nothing, they wither away.
Was that the moment you realized, man, I'm too famous to just anybody?
No. When I shot myself in the leg in the club, that's when I realized, because it was a that worked there that don't know me was talking like she knew me, and she saw what happened and what nobody saw what happened. Because if they did see what happened, best believe they would recorded something.
Right.
And there's no video footage of anything. The second incident was that Carter Park chick, Nina, whatever that name is, talking about I shot her car up. Yeah, swear by God, I shot her motherfucking car up. I ain't shot no motherfucking car up. That'll get the ass sent to jail.
Wait, you don't respect it? She's just doing what you would do, right?
No. She's saying that I shot her car up as if I'm not afraid to go to jail.
Oh, okay.
You know what shooting the car up will send you to nigga? Man, ain't no probation for that. I'm a probation. Labor detail. I ain't no 2-year penitentiary, 4-year penitentiary. Man, please, I would age quickly. So, but in her mind, she's saying Charleston White shot my homie. I wouldn't dare shoot nobody called. Don't send me to jail. So that's when I realized, I said, man, you just really can't. I got to be real strategic.
Right.
So let me just say this publicly. Homie, I don't go on the road by myself with just me and Dewberry, with a bunch of. As much as my wife probably hated, I put myself in that position. So I protect myself. After the show, I'm never by myself. I'm never by myself with a woman in this position. That's with V, my manager, my publicist. I'm never by myself with a woman. I always got another woman with me. So I do that. That's my protection. Because if I didn't, it's so easy to so many hoes, homie, on the road traveling. You would constantly put yourself in positions that would put you at risk. Just by inviting girls here, say, man, y'all come over here, let me holler at you. So I pick what I want, I take what I like, and it stay with me. I never let nothing pick me. So a woman can't pick me. She can't come, hey, I like you.
Right.
Well, now she can't choose me. I pick what I want. And that's a level of protection that I provide for me.
All right, guys. So I just try to add a little flair, guys. I'm not going to end this stream, guys. You know, I don't know what's going on with this YouTube algorithm, man. But I'm not going to worry about it. Got a good show on tomorrow with Dennis Sperling. So, guys, get ready for that show on tomorrow. I look forward to helping you guys out and having these shows. And thank you to the two that donated. Deacon Salty Balls and my man, The Quiet Storm, always showing love. We're going to figure this thing out. Don't know what's going on with this foolish algorithm, man. Numbers come and go. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I was going to drop the link and ask you guys, have y'all dated anyone that was borderline? But I'm not going to do that. It's only but 13 folks in. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love you, brothers and sisters, or brothers that are listening on tonight. But got some good stuff coming up, man. Got some good shows coming up. And thank you guys for tuning in once again. Get your mental health right, guys. If you dealt with a borderline, I know what you're dealing with, because borderlines can be serious. And I'm not here to, I say a lot of things being funny, but mental illness is serious, and borderline personality disorder is serious as well, guys. And so enjoy the stream. Get ready on tomorrow for another good one, another great one. And guys, we're about to sign off, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, guys, it ain't right. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. And we are about to we're about to sign off. Thank you. Fire for your mind. Culture Clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads pick it back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Asking fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.